Hello and welcome to today's video. So it's been a while, but I thought we'd do a little roundup of some stuff that has been selling on eBay lately in the world of vintage paperbacks. And this is actually a vintage bookmark. It's a penguin one for Simonon, no less. And I've never seen this one before, and I was really surprised to see this one sell for £17. But I've got to admit, it's one I've never ever set my eyes on before. And this was a lovely lot. Pan record here. Look at this. 10 copies of the Pan record, a very, very scarce magazine indeed. And admittedly, these are perhaps the more common ones, but even so, at just over £10 an issue, the buyer did not do badly at all with this little lot. If you've never come across the Pan record and you collect Pan books, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a great, great little booklet, you could say, rather than a magazine. It's the size of a paperback. Really, really nice. Yeah, gorgeous those. Now, a lot of today's video, at least the first third of it, is going to be related to the fantastic Eric Gadd collection. So the majority of that was bought by Morris at Zardos Books, and this is one of the highlights that's been sold on eBay. This one went for just a touch under £500, a very, very early 1937 Olaf Stapledon science fiction offering. And look at this, look, 12 bids, £335, a weird and occult miscellany. Not in the greatest of shape, as you can see, but very, very scarce indeed. Yes, certainly rough is what you could describe it. Now, there was a lot of this sort of stuff. This one's got a Reginald Heed cover, a highly collectible artist, of course. You can clearly see the signature there, Heed, on the front. £255 for this one. 16 bids. Morris had a few other penguins, and there's not been a lot of vintage penguin up on eBay these last few months, but this was one that was up there. 7 bids, £205. This is the first issue of World's Work, the SF and Fantasy Pulp. World's Work number 1 with a John Benyon there. It's John Wyndham, of course, for £199.99. Here's another issue of it. All Detective magazine. Beautiful. Fantastic stuff. This one went for £138. Dope is for dopes. Just look at that. Looks like she's smoking something there on the front cover. £138.66. All Detective here. £139.99. Look at the authors. There's a Sax Romer in there. Fantastic stuff. Lady Don't Turn Over. Darcy Glinto. £118.66. Plenty of bids on these. And this was typical of the sorts of books we were finding in Eric's collection. Snow Vogue, another Darcy Glinto. £113.11. In their day, of course, these were quite risque. Laughable today, of course, but in their day, they were. Murder in the Highlands, Peter Manton. This one just a touch under 100 for this. Just the one bid, but sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it, to find a particular buyer for a book. The Unforgivable Sin, £79.77. Paul Rennin. Quite a few by that particular author, probably a pseudonym. John Creasy, The Cinema Crime, £76. Pemberton's was the publisher. Very nice. Bad as Could Be by Griff. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. £68 that one. This one went for 67. This has got a Hercule Poirot short story by Agatha Christie. Look at that. August 1934. Very, very cool indeed, that. I wouldn't have minded that one. Very nice. The Silken Lure. £56.55. And of course, there's just not a lot of copies of these books left now. Enticed Paul Rennin again. Not in the greatest of condition, but still, someone's paid £50 for that. It's got a Heed cover by the look of it. Dramatic Detective, another one, £50. A bit more going on there. Secret Lovers, Paul Rennin, another one at £50. And these were endless. I haven't by any means shown you them all. There's loads of them. That's not bad. I mean, that's a reasonably tricky Penguin crime to get, and it doesn't look bad condition. It's actually on my list of ones I need to get a better copy of. Vamped, Paul Rennin, another one at 50 or 49.95. Nothing to do with vampires by the look of it. Enticed, another Paul Rennin, £50. The Perfect Passion. And we are zooming through these because there's just so many to show you. But we have a look at some of the current auctions which Morris has got up at the moment. And I do suggest, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, you head to the Zardoz Books, All You Need Is Books eBay page and dive in, because there's loads up. There's a few hundred auctions up at the moment. Diary of a Red-Headed Girl, £45 for that one. And look at this, The Man No Woman Could Resist. That's her. S. Brock. Sensational, sadistic, romantic, and also a true story, I hasten to add. And So He Died, $43.79. A Blackfriar book, that one. And it's got a Dennis McLaughlin cover. Very, very nice. Very distinctive art style, that particular artist. Knights of Temptation, Pierre Luz. This is £41. Excellent stuff. Make Mine Beautiful, Michael Storm. Look at that. They're very much of their time, aren't they? These are selling for about £40. These are part of a series. These gangster digests. Make Mine a Virgin. And Make Mine Dangerous. All very, very similar. All cashing in on that same sort of market. And they find a book which is a hit and they replicate it. That tends to be the rule of thumb. Nice little Western here with a Heed cover, £36.56. You don't see Heed doing many Westerns, and that's a nice example there. A Girl of London Town, The Life of Lena. W.N. Willis. A nice cover, that one. That's in the £30 region now. The Green Jade Buddha. I remember when we uncovered that one, I thought, what on earth is this? There we are. That's gone off to its new home. The Secret of Grey Wallace. Malcolm Saville. Now, this one came with a letter from the famous author, 1948. And if you have a little look, it actually came with well, not a letter, a note, basically, from him. There we are, signed Malcolm Saville. Oh, really nice, that one. Yeah, nice bit of related memorabilia. Now, these are the smaller format Boardmans. There was 3 of them in Eric's collection. They've all gone for similar sort of money. I believe all the covers are the same artist, although I don't think it's McLaughlin. I think it's, is it Willits? Or Willett. But yeah, very, very scarce, these. They're very, very small. About the third of a size of a regular paperback cover. That's a Dennis McLaughlin cover, clearly signed there. But very scarce. Look at this, White Slaves of New Orleans. I'm surprised this didn't go for a bit more. £22, maybe down to the condition with a Heed cover. You would have expected that to go for more, but it has got some wear on it, so maybe that's the reason. But quite the scarcity there. There was a few Toff books in the collection by John Creasy. Not a character I've ever read, is the Toff. Doesn't quite appeal to me. I've got a couple of services editions with the Toff in, but yeah, £22. Evidently got their fans. This is just a nice US one from 1953. Classic stuff. Waterfront Girl. Look at that. Detour, the famous book from which the film was made. Well, I don't remember the film. Nice jacket on that one. Very, very nice. This is part of The Beacon. It's sort of the science fiction with a sleaze angle to it by Philip Jose Farmer, no less. This is Flesh. £15. Nice copy of that one. Now here is, and we'll just have a look, this is what Morris has got up literally as I film this today. So do head on over to his auctions. You can see there's stacks of stuff up for grabs. Some things are buy it now, other things are auction, and some bits have already got bids on. So yeah, certainly if this has piqued your interest, these Hank Jansons there, do check out Morris's auctions, because there they are. This stuff won't be around for long. A lot of it is, it comes at once in a blue moon, so you want to sort of grab this stuff when it does appear. As you can see, there's still plenty of really good stuff to get your teeth stuck into, should you want to. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you a few of the highlights from the Eric Gadd collection. If you've not seen the story behind that collection, there's a couple of videos up on the channel where we go down with Morris and we start clearing out the collection rooms, because it's quite phenomenal what we found. Yep, stacks of stuff, as you can see, absolutely stacks of it. And a lot of it you just don't see around very often. It's so scarce. So enjoy it while it's online, because it won't be around for long. Right, on to a few other things now. So there's an unbelievable price for a Puffin box set of the Narnia books. Now, they're all first printings, but this Puffin box set is sold for £475, which I find absolutely astonishing. I mean, the box itself, you can pick up this slipcase with reprints of the books for maybe £30 to £40. Admittedly, the first couple of books are very scarce, and I guess they are expensive. I thought it was a fluke, but then I found another set that sold for £295. These were all first editions as well, so evidently not. This is a set you really want to keep your eyes peeled for, including all the individual volumes. Now, there's a few bits of Bond in here. I've tried to concentrate this time round on things that I don't show each and every video, like all the Stephen Kings and things like that. I've tried to vary it, but this was certainly a highlight. It's a very nice copy of From Russia With Love, the first British Pan printing, £95. That's a very good price for that one. Also, I think on point price-wise, this is a nice copy of Dumb Witness. It's one of those early pans in the first 100. I think it's like number 54, something like that. This book had 3 printings in pan, of which this is the very first one, with that all black cover. It makes it tough to find in nice condition, and that was a nice copy. £50 for that. This was also, I thought, a good buy. This is the 3rd book in the Rats. So it was the Rats, the Lair, then the City, signed, as you can see. And this one came out, it was Domain, of course. Then this was the last one. And it came out as a graphic novel. £48, actually a pretty good price for that as a signed copy. One odd pan here, the Pan Book of Horror Stories, number 29. One of this, it's not the last one, but it's still a scarce one. Bit of scribbling over the pricing there, but still a nice addition to have. But £45, that's about right for that one, in all honesty. With number 30 generally going for 80 to 100 as a rule. You don't see this one very often. This had sold in America for $29.99. It's one that, obviously this one and On the Road, you want to pick these up in Pan Book first printing if you can find them, because they're generally not around. They are quite scarce. And he's still collectible, his old Jet Kurak, so worth bearing that in mind. An odd pan lozenge for the sadly missed Christopher Priest, Indoctrinaire. Yeah, pretty nice copy of that one, I thought. $20. There's 2 Hammer Horror omnibuses published by Pan, and each one's got 3 or 4 like abridged versions of those particular Hammer movies inside. Highly collectible. They don't tend to turn up in nice condition anymore. And that was the first one. And there is a second one, which I believe is a little bit more common, but both, gone for £30. That seems to be the price point for these. So if you ever come across them, even if they're a bit worn, you'll still get some good money back on them. You will not go far wrong with them. This was seemingly a bit of an anomaly, £125. It's signed. It's a paperback original, and it's Lancer. So maybe, I don't know, but there's a little bit out the cover. I don't know. It just, regardless of how rare it was, the fact that it's in such poor condition, I wouldn't have entertained this at all. But there you go. Someone evidently was really keen to get hold of that. It is a beautiful book with a lovely jacket, and it was signed. But now, this is a bit more like it. £15 each, that works out at. They got the Bruce Pennington jackets, which adorned the Nell editions, and they are beautiful. This was just a way to get the full set. They're all reprints. They're not first paperback editions, but it was at least the first 4. There is a nice box set of the first 3, which is the way I would try and get them. Look at this, £60 or best offer. This was a bit of a shock for this Doll book. I think it's number 520, something like that. 508. And this is a red copy. It's a 3rd print. I was amazed that this had gone for about £60. Wow. Incredible. Now, this is another unusual one. $49.99 or best offer. What is going on here? Time, Snake and Superclan. Vincent King. Comments below, please. What am I missing on this one? I don't know much about Vincent King. Nice jacket. Nice copy. Evidently scarce. This is a nice little batch of Alfred Hitchcock and the 3 Investigator paperbacks. A lot of these editions, the Armada ones, are the ones I had as a kid. This job lot had gone for just a touch under 100. A couple of lower grade ones, but still nice little series. Used to love reading those when I was growing up. And another nice run here, the Dumarast Saga, 18 volumes, published by Arrow in the UK. Nice to see them all together in uniform. And this particular seller who we're going through, Zeitgeist Books, they specialise in putting, they got a lot of science fiction and fantasy, but they do specialise in putting stuff together. This is a different seller, but this is another particularly nice lot here. The 7 rather, Asimov Great SF Stories. I remember Steve, the Outlaw bookseller, showing me a couple of these. I thought, oh, they're really nice. And that appears to be the whole lot. Each book is a year in Asimov's early career. And yeah, there they are. Nice little set that all together. Very nice indeed. And not bad, £25 the lot. These are quite tricky to find. These are the Panther Triad editions, and they made that big golden gun up out of wood, and it got sprayed. There is, I forget the name, but it's actually in the hands of a collector, that gun. It was rescued. But yeah, particularly tricky to get that little run of those, the Panther Triad editions. That's what they went to after they left Pan, after all those years. They became Panthers. This was interesting, $49.99, a signed copy of the book. And then when I looked at the printing on it, it was a 38th print. So it wasn't even like the first paperback or anything. And this had still sold for 50 quid. I was like, wow, absolutely nuts, that. These are the ones I read when I was growing up, the Wyndhams. These are the jackets that I read. This is £50 for this set, and boy, they look lovely. It's not quite all of them, but, those are really, really great and iconic jackets for me. They did also all get released in a Wyndham box set, which uses the Triffids as the wraparound on the slipcase. Well worth tracking that one down if you like those jackets, which I particularly do. Look at this, Diary of a Drug Fiend, Aleister Crowley. I guess we shouldn't be surprised. $39.99 for this one. Anything sort of drugs, witchcraft, the occult, very, very collectible, and this is no exception. Another nice pairing here. Once again, don't know a lot about this. It looks like it's a horror anthology, and it's a pair, $39.99 for the pair. Panther again, all by the same author. Quite interesting. Frank Belknap Long. Now a pair of Clark Ashton Smith, Other Dimensions 1 and 2, and you can see how this seller does the good pairings, and whether they've been clearing out a collection. But I mean, the prices that are getting realised for not mint condition books is quite an eye-opener. Beautiful. This is my all-time favourite edition of Man in the High Castle. This is the Penguin first printing. Not a particularly nice copy, really. Look at that. It's very, very hard to find in top shape. I mean, almost impossible. But 40 quid for that is a lot. I would have, 20 maybe, Illuminatus, the set of 3. Robert Shea, Robert Anton Wilson, rather. £35. Beautiful jackets on those. Very nice. Jane Gaskell, the Atlan Saga, £35. I mean, it's £7 a book. When you think, what you pay for a brand new book these days, it's like 8 to 10 quid, or even a little bit more, even for a standard paperback. There's some good value to be had buying second hand. I remember selling these editions of Gibson. These are the HarperCollins ones in the 90s. These were the editions I stocked in my shop. I remember them very well. They're quite worn copies now, though, but fantastic. I'm sure that was the edition of Neuromancer I first read. Another interesting pair, Robert R. McCammon. Look at these, £35 for the pair. Nice copies on the look of it. Yeah, not a little bit fading, but very, very nice. Very, very distinctive jackets. Look at that. Excellent stuff. Another nice set, the Amber series from Roger Zelazny. All 7. It's £5 a book. For £35, you're not really going to go far wrong. And they don't look, apart from the top one, they don't look in bad condition at all. I thought that was a good buy, whoever bought them. These are nice. I've got the 2 later ones because I'm picking up Asimov in paperback first. And it's like an ongoing project because there's so many of them. But I am honing in on completing it now. Now, these are just nice uniform editions for £30. These are all reprints, 1, 2 and 3. I was surprised to see these are gone for £30. I really was. Not exactly mint. But it was, if you want for the content, where else are you going to find them? A nice little set here. These are the early 80s Beaver paperbacks. So just before the BBC did their adaptation. And I don't remember seeing these. The ones I read were the TV tie-in editions, which I'm sure are puffin. But these are Beavers. And they're nice. They got their appeal. The covers all go together, which is quite nice. This was some Picador White Spine set. Now, I know some of their stuff really is valuable, but this is not a trilogy I've ever come across before. But £30 these have gone for. But then again, if you wanted to buy these brand new today, you'd be paying that sort of money anyway. And looking at the price on the back, these do appear to be first Picador editions. And there we are. 1, 2 and 3. Very, very nice indeed. A nice set. Although, yeah, I haven't got those myself. These are slightly later, late 90s, early 2000 William Gibsons now. Also, very, very nice editions. I really like these. I like the uniformity of them. Yes, this was in the Voyager imprint from HarperCollins. These are nice. These are the Raymond Chandlers. Very nice. They're sort of uniform editions. Don't mind those at all. I think there's even more than those 5 in existence. Don't know much about these, but once again, Mashima. Look at that. 3 books in that series. Yeah, not in the greatest of condition, but evidently quite scarce. Look at that, faded spines as well. Still went for £28. A little grouping of the recently departed Barry N. Malsberg. These went for £27. A real mixture there. Now these are scarce. These are published by Mayflower in the UK. It's an SF anthology. I don't know how many they were, but they're very difficult to find in nice condition. Very, very difficult to find. I haven't got the set. I've maybe got half of them, possibly. These are nice. What a nice pair. $24.99. The complete short stories in 2 volumes. Very, very nice indeed. Yeah, Harper Perennial. They're great. I wouldn't mind getting those. Very nice indeed. Another nice little run on Margaret Drabble. These are sort of late 70s, early 80s Penguin editions, sort of uniform. And Penguin did this with most of their authors of this period. The trick is to try and get a little run of them together in nice condition. That's the hard part. But £25 was a bargain. I very much remember these. These are the editions I read, and it's nice to see all 3 of them in a uniform set. These, you know, $22.99. It's like £7 a book. Not bad at all. They're the editions I'd have if I had them back again. Another nice little trio there. $22.99 for the 3 2001, 10 and 61 books. Very, very nice. And Bill the Galactic Hero, great little series. This by Harry Harrison, one of my favourites. I've really been enjoying reading Harry Harrison the last couple of years. He's been one of the authors I've gone back to after, well, decades really, and continue to enjoy him. This is always a classic, and it's one of my favourite Panther ballads. This one went for a flat £50. Beautiful condition copy by the look of it. Very, very nice. As we round out the video today, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this whistle-stop tour through some latest sales as we end on a ballad with the David Pelham set. And I shall, of course, look forward to seeing you very soon with yet more vintage paperback content. Thanks for watching today. Bye.